Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 4238 Southeast 120th Avenue here in Portland. Located at the front of the house, I describe everything as if you're standing in the street facing the front of the home. So just to the, right as the walkway approaches the front patio here, just off to the right we've got a 3-inch ABS cleanout. There's your front door, there's your cleanout. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running. It's one of these more funky cleanouts where the cleanout is not tied directly into the top of the sewer line. It actually swings under the patio and then drops down, and the line comes out more under the doorway. Anyway, immediately upon access here, line transitions over to 4-inch 3034 PVC. It's actually a unique thing. It's, normally you don't get this pipe until you start getting much further out towards the road. And of the two, the green PVC is just better, more expensive pipe products. That's why you often don't see it used unless it's in a right-of-way. So that is a good thing. Looks like we're making a diameter change here from the looks of it. Yep, we're bumping from 3034 to 6-inch standard PVC pipe. Absolutely spotless clean sewer line. Fine, at least the flow line is. There was one spot back there a little ways where we had a little bit of gunk at the top of the pipe, which we're going to take another look at as we come out. Otherwise, superbly clean sewer. Now, I don't know if this thing got jetted. This is how clean these folks have been living. I am impressed. I've cambered over 25,000 sewer lines. To see a line this clean under normal homeowner usage is incredible. And generally speaking, what keeps a line this clean is one main living habit, and that's not putting fats, greases, and oils down your kitchen sink drain. It makes a great deal of difference to how your line functions, especially when you have little kids in the household. You know, they're flushing rather large things down the line. That grease just makes for a sticky glue-like condition that likes to grab debris and hangs onto it. So, great living habit to build into place, not putting cooking oil and grease down the line. We're going to go locate really quick here while the pipe drains off. Then we'll pull back, take another. There's only one spot I want to take a good look at. Otherwise, the rest of the line is immaculate. Alright, so from that same orientation, facing the front of the home from the street, line comes out of the home just right around where the front door is at, then jaunts under the driveway and runs approximately down the middle of the driveway. By the time I pick that locate up there at the main and look back at the house, I'm staring pretty much right at the middle of the driveway. Anyway, I'm going to come back here and take a look at that random spot of debris. And the reason that's extra, I shouldn't say extra concerning, but it certainly is odd. When you get a line that is this insanely clean, and you get a random spot like that of debris, I want to make sure we don't have a line that looks like it could be exposed to the ground somewhere. There's absolutely nothing in this line that would lead me to believe someone's been gunking it up. But anyway, all the PVC pipe looks great. Drains off beautifully, super clean. Transition joint there looks great. This tie-in right here looks like a test T or test Y connection. You will always have one of those right before a line makes a transition. Anyhow, if you're newer to home ownership, I highly recommend. You have a little bit of a skiff on the sidewall there, which is one of those indicators that the line probably hasn't been jetted. Otherwise, that stuff usually gets stripped off of there. It's an amazing example of how to treat a sewer line. So what concerns me here, though, is the way that this debris, and you've got something hanging from the top of the line right here. And you can see how stark that contrast is relative to the rest of the line. My concern when you get a spot like this is the line broken and open to the ground, and ground is able to actually seep into the sewer line. What's hanging down there is hard to say. This is a spot I'm going to recommend some cleaning on. In an otherwise absolutely spotless line, it just does not make a whole lot of sense why that's there. The only explanation for getting a random spot like that is someone flushed way too much stuff down the line blocked up temporarily, and then busted loose. There's a little bit of debris skiff there, but everything I'm seeing there at the top of the line almost looks like it's originating at the top. Right now my camera's upside down. The bottom of the screen there is actually the top of the line. The way that that debris film has formed, as you see, right when you get past this point, the line becomes super clean. Everything is working from the top down. So it could be an indicator that whatever's coming into it could be that the line is open to the ground right here. And that can happen sometimes during the install process. Someone hits the top of the pipe with something, an excavator bucket, something of that nature. So I'm going to at least locate where this is really quick. It's a hard one to say. There is some stuff hanging down from the top there that almost looks like you got that big white triangle item there. If you work your way back from that towards the pipe wall, there is a shape of something there that almost looks like the edge of a busted piece of pipe. Like something pushed the pipe inward. So this is a spot I'm going to recommend get cleaned up to get a better view of it. Cleaning in a rescope immediately afterwards to see if we can catch anything going on here. I am going to locate it though really quick just to see where we are. And from a flow standpoint, right now this is not affecting functionality. And again, it's possible it's simply just debris. I'm trying to understand where it would have come from in a line this incredibly clean. Alrighty, located that under the walkway. I'll show where it's at. I don't want to, right now, I don't want to paint the concrete in the event there's no damage there. Two, it's also raining right now and the paint will probably wash off the concrete. But you're about 3 foot 1, 3 foot 2 inches deep there. Another slightly suspect location. There's a little nubbin sticking off that joint right there. Very hard to tell if that's the very end of a root. It's possible. So what I was just about to say before getting back to that is sometimes roots, I don't know if there used to be a tree in this front yard here. It's entirely possible it's never had one, but sometimes folks will clean the line to remove something like that. The whole line stays super clean, but that one location won't because it's exposed to the ground and dirt and stuff can seep in. But that's a hard one to say right there. It's so dang small that could it be a root? Yes. But it's also so small it's hard to even confirm what it is. So I'll write it up as the possibility of that. And if there were to be, uncover a break there at the top of the line at 6 feet, if that were the case, that would be a good moment in time if you were going to dig down and repair that to simply deal with that spot there at 4 feet at the exact same time. Out of an abundance of caution. They're right next to each other. I'm not sure this cleanout. The hard part with these cleanouts is getting your camera to go the direction you want them to. Woo, got it. Alright, now pushing back through the foundation wall right now. And at this right here, we are now back through the foundation wall. Everything's looking good going back that direction. Everything from that point on is exposed plumbing in the crawl space. That's stuff the home inspector can crawl right up to and look at. Everything under the patio here is looking good though. But that debris hanging down from the top of the pipe right there, which right now is the bottom of the screen, that right there is an indicator that a blockage has occurred at some point. Again, most of the line is very clean. That does not look like it happened yesterday. Usually when stuff starts to dry out and flake off like that, that's an indicator of something that happened a long time ago. And assuming nothing's going on at either the joint at 4 feet or a hole of some kind at 6 feet that could be affecting flow in some manner, sometimes you get blockage evidence for people just simply clogging the line up with too much junk going down the line. That's very common. So right there where my locator wand is on the ground, that is right where that spot is at 6 feet. I do recommend cleaning and a rescope. Let's take another look at that area there. Make sure there's not damage to the top of the line. From a pure flow standpoint right now, line is free flowing all the way to the main and it is functioning properly in that regard. That little bit of a question mark there at 6 feet, possibly at 4 feet. The spot at 4 feet, unfortunately, that's one that if you were, for instance, to have me come back out here to clean this thing, I would try to remove whatever that little nubbin is and then recommend a rescope in a year. If we found no hole there at 6 feet, you could always ask the homeowners if there ever used to be a tree in the front yard that got taken out. That happens frequently when people experience roots. They take the tree out to try and mitigate their root growth. If there's never been a tree here, it's unlikely that that was a root there at 4 feet. Debris can get stuck into pipe joints. That happens a lot. So, anyway. Other than those two areas there, rest of the line looks fantastic and super clean.